everybody, this is Everything is Fine, Nothing is Ruined, a show, as you all know, about the best thing in the world. I'm your host, Tristan. This is my good buddy, Hassan.
That's me.
Hassan, what's the best thing in the world right now? Come
on. Unregulated capitalism?
You know it, buddy. You got it.
Yes.
Unregulated capitalism. It's the only way to live your life. And let me tell you, on our show, you can get the finest and hottest tips on how to be an unregulated capitalist billionaire. My God.
Son, simple. Step one, have a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Step two, either overtly bribe the government or give them campaign donations, and then you just get whatever you want.
Yeah, hell yeah. If you basically can, get a politician on your side through leafy greens, then, you can just simply do whatever the fuck you want. And that's the way to live your life as a professional billionaire capitalist. I don't see any other option, really, at this point in life, so, just go do that. Everybody? All right, that's it for the show, I guess. Yeah. We have some time to kill, though. So, is there anything else you want to talk about today? I'm fresh on ideas.
Tristan, the actual topic and thing I want to talk about today is the Paramount Skydance purchase, merger, whatever they're technically qualifying it as, of Warner Discovery.
Discovery, if you will. And I will.
Yeah, the names of these big companies, it's so stupid.
I like Pie Dance as well, so
it's a good name, but I don't want to give them any ideas and make themselves try and seem cutesy.
Yeah, that's true.
They
need a cool meet cute name. It's fine. Celebrity couple name.
No.
Go on.
The main reason I want to talk about this is because Warner Discovery is perhaps the most unique entertainment company currently and possibly ever, because they're basically the only entertainment company that operates in, I won't say every form of entertainment, but certainly the largest, most popular, where they do film, television, music, video games, animation.
Yeah.
They do a bit of everything. So unlike, say, similar big mergers of these entertainment companies, like when Disney either bought out, Marvel, Lucasfilm, 20th Century Fox, most of those companies weren't directly, at least, or heavily involved in any of these other forms of media, right? At the time, sure, Marvel had comics and they had the movies.
Yeah.
But that was about it, right? Yes, Marvel would have cartoons, but they were not creating those cartoons themselves.
No.
They were going out and finding studios. Perhaps they were, hiring the studio, but they didn't own animation studios. Similarly, Disney, for as big as Disney is, all of their video game stuff, they're just partnering with other people. They themselves don't own the developers, unlike Warner Discovery, where they own developers that have made some of the biggest games in recent years. There was Hogwarts Legacy, which if I remember correctly, that game has sold over 20 million units.
What?
Which
really?
Yes. That game.
Okay.
Now, to be fair, that's not 20 million units at full price.
Sure, I get that, but like, still, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, that game is huge. They own the Mortal Kombat franchise, the inarguable, indisputable biggest fighting game. Maybe not best, right? Street Fighter is sort of the icon. It is
Philistine.
The premier for the fighting game community.
Yeah.
But Mortal Kombat typically sells over 10 million units. It outsells Street Fighter about 2 to 1, if not higher, depending on, which version of Street Fighter against which Mortal Kombat game, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So to me, like, the Warner thing, it's so much worse than anything we've ever seen, and scarier, because the potential for this to wreak havoc across different industries is what makes this so scary, right? We've seen recent massive mergers with like Microsoft buying Activision, but Activision only made games, right? That didn't have this impact where all of a sudden, film and television or movies or comics, they're all gonna get screwed up because of this awful merger that is only happening because of a corrupt political system where a billionaire wants to buy it to basically ensure right-wing propaganda continues.
Yeah, that is the case.
And like, that part sucks. That's kind of the part I'm going to spend the least amount of time talking on, because I think there's so many other things to talk about, and there's plenty of other people talking about the political part of it. But I do just quickly want to talk about Larry and David Ellison, and how I firmly believe, despite the fact that so Larry Ellison is the co-founder and I believe majority shareholder of Oracle, which is a technology company which has made him a billionaire, which is how he has funded his son's endeavors, and how Paramount Skydance, despite being worth a fraction of what Warner Discovery is able to potentially purchase them. I firmly believe that, despite the fact that Megan Ellison, Larry's daughter and sister, is like the founder, I think, of Annapurna Interactive, tons of like great movies attached to her name. I'm not going to talk about her because I don't know enough about her. But for Larry and David, I don't think they are people who truly appreciate and understand art.
No, they definitely aren't.
I think they are people who only understand art through the lens of profit. And that if you were to take them to something like a farmer's or a Sunday market, just to see, hey, here's a person, they're just selling their art or their woodworking or their homemade jam, whatever it is.
Jam.
And those two are like, to me, they would just go, yeah, but how are you going to spin this to like be this huge business? And be like, well, I don't do this because of that. It's just, I like to do this thing, and it's how I express my creativity. The idea of art for art's sake, I think, is incomprehensible to those two, that they are so capitalist, so greedy, that it scares me to have them in control of all of everything that this company will have this ownership of and control over.
Me and everybody else both, bud. Because that's having these two people who we thought David Zaslav was bad, and he is. He's terrible. He's a piece of shit. But like, he's the same kind of person as Larry and David Ellison are, and they're effectively worse. They see no good use for art besides it being propaganda machines at this point.
And I think that's the difference right there, right? Is that if I think about guys like David Zaslav
Yeah.
or say Bobby Kotick at Activision.
Yeah.
These kind of guys, right? They're like dragons who just want to hoard their wealth.
Mm.
And that's it. That's all they have, is they just want to hoard their wealth. The difference with like the Ellisons is they're like dragons who want to hoard their wealth, but they also have this evil agenda of wanting to burn down the village. Whereas a David Zaslav or a Bobby Kotick, they didn't care about the village. They didn't care about the politics of anything, the message. They didn't care about trying to, influence things in any way. They're guys who, if somebody under them had this idea where they're trying to pitch them on like a cool new thing and it's artsy fartsy and they don't get it, but this person has a convincing pitch and is trying to tell them that, hey, I think it could be big, they'd at least take a chance on it and go, okay, yeah, here's some money, hey, it better work out or, we're just going to drop this thing. Whereas to me, like the Ellisons, they'll pretend to care about artistry, but they'll try and insert themselves into it and alter that and make sure that the message aligns to what they want. And it just makes them so much worse.
Does, yes.
But I kind of want to go through the different sectors and parts of Warner and like discuss what I think is going to happen and why it's bad. I'm going to start with comics, and I called this out in our prediction podcast where I think they will try and somehow like spin off or like sell the right to like the comic publishing kind of thing. So the idea would be, oh, we still want to own all the comic characters and we still want to own, the ability to then sell those things to movies and blah, blah, blah. But we don't want to deal with these stupid comic writers and artists. We don't want them on our payroll and have to deal with printing companies and all this. No. So we'll set up some other company and then they just have to buy the rights to our thing and they do that. So I just and it's we'll talk about this a bit probably towards the end, but like in a company that gets as big as Warner Discovery, the like comic division, the section of it, right? Comics just don't make that much money, compared to say, movies, television, video game, right? So Hogwarts Legacy, exactly. We just talked about it. That game sold 20 million copies. Even if every single one of those copies was half price at $40, that is still $800 million. No comic comes even close to that, right? So when you're looking at line items and you're going, the absolute Batman line's doing great, and it's like, oh, cool. How much money did we make off that? It's like, well, and I'll be honest, I have no idea what comic revenue, profits, costs look like. So I'm just going to throw out completely made up numbers. But if they were like, we did 10 million gross, so that's like, 700,000 in profits. They're just going to look at that and go, I'm sorry, you're telling me we don't even make 10% profit on this thing? Kill it.
So as far as
why are we spending our money?
So as far as worthiness goes for Absolute Batman specifically, because I was going to bring this up as well. So that comic, I believe the issue number 1 is in its A3 printing, which is absolutely unheard of in the comic industry. It's usually get a few reprints, but like nothing that substantial. It is in September of 2025. It made New York Times bestsellers list for number 5. So there's that. That means nothing, of course, but yeah, I can't really speak to the actual numbers, but if it's in its 8th slash possibly 9th reprinting, then that warrants the fact that people are still buying it and reading it or collecting it. At $4.99 a pop, that gets to be decently high. I think they only do reprints every time you hit 100,000 sold. So let's say 100,000.
Yeah, but even that's
3
less
million.
than 5 million.
Yeah, it is. You're right. Yeah, it's 4 million.
Yeah, right. So you're in a meeting and you're hearing like, this is one of the best, most successful comics of the year. It's like, oh, cool. How much has it made? About 3.5 million. It's like,
almost 4.
What?
Almost 4.
That's almost 4. That's pocket change compared to these other parts of the business.
That's the thing. Like the other thing is the overhead and that kind of stuff. So there's actually a potential to pocket the most profit out of that, though, because the way comic books are made, even at DC, where like they have larger teams now, they have your main writer and your main artist still, of course, that's how they work, the colorist, and then like typesetting and that kind of stuff. Like there are smaller pockets of things, of people touching the book, but then you have like your specific other like editorial team that's on there too. So you have maybe about like 10 people being paid, like working on one book. But I know for a fact the money that is made by people who do comic books is not a lot of money.
No.
As noteworthy as certain like Nick Dragotta and Scott Snyder are big names in comic books right now, and they probably make good money, but like it's not like they're making like millions and millions of dollars. They're not Todd McFarlane. They're not
nobody these days, right?
No, nobody is.
That just doesn't exist in comics anymore.
No, even your superstars aren't anymore. So like, yeah,
manga, you get a little bit of it, but
I'm sure. Yeah.
But I think that's another reason why they wouldn't want to deal with it, right? Is that we're not going to talk about, but like on the news side, when they got whichever news station it was, I forget, NBC or whatever, CNN. And they'll be getting CNN. CNN is currently under Warner Discovery.
Yes,
but they got another when they did the when they got Paramount.
Yeah.
I forget which one they own, and they installed just horrible person Barry Weiss as the head of it.
Yeah,
they would probably try and do the same in comics, but the problem there is, to your point, like comic artists already don't make a lot of money. It feels like they would be way more willing to go, no, screw that. I'm going to stop working on this. We're not going to work with this new awful editor-in-chief who's just your yes man and it's trying to get us to, be like, by the way, trans people aren't allowed in our comics anymore. Like, I think they would just be willing to, and they being sort of the general comic artists, writers, etc., would just be way more willing to walk away than other parts of the business. And that at that point, you just don't want to deal with those people. And you're like, these pretentious, artsy fartsy types, whatever, let's just fire them all. It's like, well, technically most of them are contractors, so we can't fire them.
You just don't hire them again, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. They're all under contract. So I should have honestly predicted this back in the day, but there's a good chance that because of this, and which this sucks the most, because right now, in my opinion, DC is making the best comic books out there, like for superhero stuff, bar none. And this sucks the hardest because I can see them just not renewing these contracts, especially if they get DC publishing as it is in its entirety, and if they carry on about it to fuck it up. I feel like the best case scenario is they just don't give a shit at all and just like let it be, because it still makes some money, just not all tons of money, But worst case scenario, in my opinion, is that basically they see this thing, they hate the fact that they're paying people to make funny books, and they just don't rehire any of the artists, that kind of stuff, the writers, and they just let ChatGPT or some AI programs just run rampant over this shit.
Oh God, I didn't even think about it. Yeah, I could see them trying to pivot to AI.
Yeah, because I mean, like,
being that dumb.
Yeah, because like, how many AI bros do they have as friends? The Ellisons do, like probably tons,
God.
right?
They're deep into the Oracle and Larry Ellison are deep in the AI stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Was there anything else you want to say about comics before we move on to the next one?
No. Yes,
okay.
but no.
Hey, don't worry. I actually have something good to say at the end. But for the next one, video games. This one, I just don't. I see what is going to happen to it is the same thing that happens at most of these companies where they do have some, a foot in video games, but they're not fully a video game company.
Yeah.
We've seen it. Disney has gotten in and out multiple times. Other entities certainly have, because the thing that happens is you get some video games, they get really big, you decide, oh, we need to do more of this video game thing. Right. And then you have some failures, and then you decide, nah, we're just going to cut our video game division and we're just going to go back to licensing out our film, television, whatever it is, to video game people, and we'll just get that money that way. And I 100% see that's what's going to happen here, because while Warner Brothers does have several developers, they don't have that many, and all it takes is one or two more flops, because especially recently they haven't had great success.
Suicide Squad and the previous Gotham Knights game. So yeah,
those two were great flops. There was something else that they had that I can't remember what it was, that didn't do that well for Warner either. Now they definitely have another Hogwarts.
Well, yeah,
I don't know if Hogwarts Legacy : something will become the name, or if it'll be like Hogwarts something else. They definitely have another one of those coming. NetherRealm will certainly be working on something else. I forget what else. They've got some stuff that I'm sure it'll do okay, but I predict that their video game division just trundles along for a bit, but eventually they just completely kill it off.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, like, I don't have much else to say about it, right? We've seen this story over and over, that these big media companies that are primarily film, television, whatever, just lose interest in the video game side, and then they just end up shuttering it and killing everything off. I think the biggest shame here will be NetherRealm. I could maybe see them trying to sell that off, because it's not that big a deal to also sell off the Mortal Kombat brand with them, right?
Kind of.
Because sure, they've got a movie coming out, I think it's this year, and Mortal Kombat has had other attempts at being multimedia. There was the 90s or early 2000s cartoon that was not good. And I think they had some kind of a live action web series, I think it was. But in general, it's not like, hey, if you sell off Mortal Kombat, you're all of a sudden losing a bunch of other stuff with it. And NetherRealm certainly doesn't have a whole lot of other, properties to go along with it. So it's not like, oh, well, if we sell them off, we're losing 6 other things. But I could also see them saying, no, we're not going to sell this off, and then try to just sell NetherRealm without Mortal Kombat. But
yeah, I can see that.
Who's gonna buy NetherRealm at that point? Like, what are you getting? It's just a bunch of people, and if you just want those people, you don't have to buy the studio. You can get them pretty easily by it's not hard to look up the directory for a company like that, or to just get one senior figure who knows most of the people and could just be like, yeah, you should all just ship over here.
Yeah.
Warner sucks and is clearly going to shutter this studio.
Jump and ship, and we're gonna be an Activision Blizzard map maker for Call of Duty. We too will use AI.
I let NetherRealm make. Let them literally make a NetherRealm map.
That'd be cool.
Put a Call of Duty map where it's just like the monks in the background and spinning blades and stuff.
That'd be cool, but they won't do that because you know why? Because any of these studios who've joined the meat grinder that is Call of Duty, they don't they don't have any personality anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I have to say about what's going to happen on the video game side. On the movie side, so this is one
Space Jam 3.
I didn't even see Space Jam 2. I saw clips of it.
Yeah, same.
Whoa.
I know.
That is one, seems like a rough film to watch.
Iron Giant 2, where he kills a bunch of guys on purpose.
No, that was Ready Player One, which
I know.
Ready Player 2 for
Are
some
they?
reason.
Who cares?
I believe so.
Give a shit.
But I said we were going to talk about this earlier. So I think one of the problems that's going to happen with this just massive company that has so much under its umbrella, right? They're going to have Star Trek, Looney Tunes, Batman, all this stuff, is that when it comes to movies, they're not going to want new stuff, right? They have these pillars. They're going to look around and go, okay, well, why would we try and make new stuff, new unheard of things?
Yeah.
We already have, these big
tried,
names. We have
tested,
so
and true.
Many.
Yeah.
And we have so many of them, right? Our catalog is, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of films across the decades that these companies will have existed under this umbrella.
Yep.
And so I just think it's going to be a real stagnation in terms of any sorts of creativity.
Massive, yes.
I also think, so that's the thing is, and I should have looked this up, but basically David Ellison is a failed film person. I think he wanted to be a director or something. Didn't really work out, so kind of became like producer, and that's why his dad has just funded this whole endeavor, because, Nepo baby son wanted to be a big Hollywood hotshot. And so I also think movies are the one where they will try and insert themselves the most, and that it's going to be, David Ellison going around and trying to be like, well, I think we should have this producer because I like what they're doing and I want them to make this kind of film. So, people under me, go tell him he has to make this film for us. And the thing is, if we think about Warner Discovery, probably the biggest film they have coming this year is going to be Dune Part 3.
Yeah.
I don't think you get Dune under whatever the new company would be called, because A, the messages that Dune tells are not ones that the Ellisons are going to want to be told, right? A story about how you should not trust these enigmatic leaders, and that it leads to these cults of personality that are bad, and tons of messages.
Every
that
character in Dune is awesome, and you should befriend them, except for like those guys.
Harkonnens?
Yeah. No, every character in Dune is basically like, yeah, you're right. They're a uber capitalist, like, political leader, possibly theocratic monster, who's out there just to profit off the backs of weaker underlings, and like that's the point of Dune. And then of course you have the resistance in those cases, and that's of course who you're siding with. You're not siding with the capitalists. You're not siding with these people. But like
you're not, except they eventually become them. Because again, enigmatic cult leader, you can definitely see the parallels to Trump. The Ellisons wouldn't get that though. No. Guarantee you make them watch that film, they wouldn't pick up on any of that.
Get it. It's like, oh yeah, the visuals were really good strings, but a lot of sand. There's a lot of sand in this one.
You say the visual, but that's the other part, right? Is it's not just the messaging, right? Because part of why this film works is two reasons. One is they actually just allowed the film to have that messaging in there. If you take that out, you extract it from that film, it is so much weaker. If the politics of it get toned down, get whitewashed. But the other thing is the visuals and cinematography of Denis Villeneuve is incredible in that film. And obviously not just him, you have your principal photographer, you've got, your actual designers, all these people involved, right?
Yeah.
I don't see those kind of things happening with whatever the next company is, because they're just going to want directors who stroke their ego and who make more bland, generic stuff. Not directors that make things that are obviously still popular. I'm not about to sit here and try and claim that, Denis Villeneuve, he's so avant-garde that the general populace couldn't get him. No, the last film made like $600 million or something.
Yeah, he makes blockbusters.
Yeah. Or like James Gunn with what's happening with all the DC movie stuff. But I don't think those kind of guys get into those positions under a new entity, because I don't think they gel with the Ellisons. I think you get more of a numbers director.
You don't think James Gunn, former Trauma film director, punk as fuck guy, is going to gel with the Ellisons? I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure he's in with them.
No, I don't see it, Tristan.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure he's right there with them.
Hard to imagine, I know, but but the other thing too is like, I don't know that you get a Dune, because I think I would be shocked if they looked at the 1980s or very early 90s. I forget when that previous Dune film was, but I don't think they look at Dune and they can
90, I think. Yeah.
Was it? Okay. I cannot imagine them looking at that and going, yeah, we think there could be something here with this, right?
Yeah.
Talked about that earlier with David Zaslav. David Zaslav, I don't think watched Dune and felt emotions about it. I think the only thing he did was saw Dune and saw the dollar bills and was like, yes, more money for me, more. That's just how I picture him talking about money.
That's how I picture any billionaire talking about money. So I agree with that.
But the thing about him is, clearly he got convinced by somebody, hey, there's this thing. I think there could be something there for these reasons. Yeah. And he doesn't get the artistry, but he at least got convinced on it. The Ellisons, I don't see that at all. I just think they're going to go, no, we think instead, hey, let's make another Star Trek movie. I'm sure that'll be another flop, but why don't we try it for the umpteenth time?
Cool, yeah, another one, huh? Bring back J. Abrams, why not?
They would. If they could get J.J. Abrams to make movies, they would be all over it.
Yeah, they would. From what I know about J.J. Abrams, he's actually unlikely to join their little cavalcade of directors.
Yeah, I've heard he seems like he's a decent dude.
Yeah, I've heard that. I mean, like, yeah, he seems like a decent, okay guy.
films kind of suck, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm not a big J.J. Abrams fan either. I like the occasional one of his, but it's got like Super 8 was pretty good, and then like
yeah, that was what 20 years ago.
Yeah. You make the same claim about Zack Snyder, so you know. Army of the Dead was pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good movie.
I don't pretend to like Zack Snyder.
Oh, no one should. Anyway, doesn't matter.
But the Snyderverse.
The Snyderverse, though, that is, I'm doing it. No, I'm kidding. We're not. No. So, what I'm trying to say is, basically with the, I don't see them jumping into bed with a new untested property. So like, yeah, you will likely see a lot more superhero films, a lot more, Star Trek films, etc. Those ones, because like, you know, they're safe, they make some money, they're probably pretty cheap to produce now. They can reach a wider audience because the name brand recognition is so much bigger than anything else that they have. There's going to be a trillion Batman movies because like there's a reason why there's a lot of Batman comics, and it's because they sell. People buy them like crazy, versus everything else. So like Batman is very recognizable. So you'll see a lot more Batman stuff. Trust me.
But not that Batwoman film.
That's never reaching the daylight at all. That I'm pretty sure has been burned.
I still hope somebody managed to like secretly keep a copy of it and just,
I mean, yeah.
They're just waiting for like the chaos of this sale or whatever to be able to be like, oh, whatever. Like they fired, hey, because of this merger and all these redundancies, they fired the only people who know how to like figure out the watermark of this copy. So I can just release it. And what are they going to do? They don't have the people there anymore to figure out who's doing this. So
that's highly possible.
I still kind of have some hope. Yeah.
Yeah. You might see it. Who knows?
Yeah. But that's movies. Moving on to television. But starting with a, I guess, subset of television, with animation, which is, dead. It's dead. It's dead except for hope you like even more SpongeBob.
Yeah, I say it's the exact same thing.
Again, back to saying earlier they don't appreciate art. These are guys, they don't understand art. They don't understand cartoons, and they definitely do not understand the idea of children's entertainment.
You might get some more TMNT.
Yeah, TMNT. You'll definitely get that. But that's the thing. They're only going to go, oh, well, we have these big things. Kids will watch it. Whatever. Just keep feeding kids the same thing. Yeah. They 100% would not understand that you cannot make another SpongeBob. You can't have the goal of, we want to make another cartoon. It needs to be the next SpongeBob. That doesn't happen. No. SpongeBob was an accident. TMNT was an accident. Yes. These were not things that got made and put out with the intent of these will become the biggest cartoons in the world. Those happen by accident.
Yeah, these are not made when somebody said this has to be the biggest thing in the world or you're fired. These are passion projects made by small teams that then grew into bigger properties. SpongeBob, both TMNT and SpongeBob grew from very small comics into these huge projects. Like, they had the same groundwork, and they just, went in different directions.
Yeah, and they'll have no appreciation for animation. They don't get it at all. They think, well, that's for kids, whatever. Kids are dumb.
Kids don't make us money.
Things. They're not going to understand.
Kids like
that.
J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movie. Kids love that shit.
But they don't understand that there's a value in creating something like an Avatar: The Last Airbender or Batman the Animated Series. Well, where and those things were profitable, but like, you know, hey, they might not be the biggest thing in the world, but you know, emotionally, those things move people. They people get attached to them and care about them, and that.
I mean, there's still a reason why people are still talking about the original Avatar series to this day. So
again, or Batman,
right?
Like that,
or SpongeBob.
That is an icon. Yeah, certainly SpongeBob. I mean, hell, even stuff like the original Fairly Odd Parents. You know, sure, that show went on for way too long, but those early seasons were good.
They would rehire Butch Hartman, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they 100%.
Gosh,
yes. But like also when I think about some of the more current cartoons they put out, you know, a Craig of the Creek, or even something like things that can be kind of additive, right? My Adventure with Superman. On paper, I bet you look at it, that is not the most profitable cartoon, but I bet you know, it would be hard, but I bet if you actually went out and did the study, you would find that that film led to a noticeable increase in ticket sales for the recent Superman movie and for just interest in Superman, comic book sales, all those things. But they're going to look at it and go, no, cartoons are for kids, whatever. We don't care. There's no value here.
Except for South Park, we still keep that one around, despite them making fun of the Ellisons like ad nauseum.
Do they? Yeah, I guess they would own that, right?
They do. South Park has been on Paramount for like a while now, and they have been relentless in making fun of the Ellisons and Trump.
Okay,
they are trying their hardest to get canceled. They're not getting canceled. I don't know why. Colbert got canceled for like an offhand comments.
Yeah. But I think, I don't know, the animation was probably the one that upsets me the most in all this with how...
I hear you.
It's probably because it is the art form that in general gets the most dismissed, I think, by the general public, right? Yes. It feels like you're either somebody who likes animation or you don't, and then you tend to just be very flippant towards it and not give it any respect. And to be a company that will own both Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and have that attitude towards both of them, and that it's also the one that will do the most damage to the powerless kids, right? Like, okay, all these other things, video games, movie, television.
Yeah.
It's awful, the things that they're going to be able to do, the damage they will cause. But you and I and anybody listening to this as adults, we can go out and we can find, with relative ease, entertainment of those other mediums made by people who were not the Ellisons or not owned by people like the Ellisons, and we can get what we want out of that. Kids are generally powerful. It's not as easy for them to do that. You know, you can't, if you're a kid, you can't just as easily go and just find some new cartoons, right? Like, you got to go through your parents, and typically parents are not, you know, they're not going to do a bunch of web surfing trying to find cartoons for their kids. It's going to be like, here's, you know, whatever their streaming thing will end up being called, log in and just watch whatever's on there. And if they just stop producing it, I don't know what to tell you, son. I guess they just don't make cartoons anymore. Sorry.
You're going to get 24 hours of Coco Melon and you're going to like it.
Yeah, like when I think about how, you know, the sort of 70s and 80s cartoons led to all those animators in the 90s and 2000s making some of the best cartoons ever, and then continuing to inspire current generations.
Yeah.
it is very hard for me to see that continuing with what the Ellisons are going to end up doing by owning
it's
Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Blood boiling. I hate it.
Did you know they were going to do a Courage the Cowardly Dog reboot at some point, but that got shafted?
I saw that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I like Courage.
Yeah. But
it's a cool show.
We don't deserve it, unfortunately.
No. Yeah. No, I think we do deserve it, actually. I would like to see more Courage.
I bet we as in society at large.
Oh, as a society.
You and I,
fuck no, we don't. No, absolutely not. Courage the Cowardly Dog is too good for us. There's too many awesome animation styles in one episode. It's kind of the reason why Amazing World of Gumball exists, and that show is also, I think, off the air. I feel like that's the case.
Yeah, I believe so.
Pretty sure. I haven't checked in a long time, to be honest. But yeah.
Continuing with TV though, so that one I think so. What? I think it's Paramount Plus. I think it's what they call their streaming service.
You got it, buddy.
I don't know anybody who watches it, but apparently they've got a decent number of subscribers somehow. I don't know.
Landman. They have Landman.
And
a guy.
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone,
yes.
What's
it called?
They basically have
stupid popular.
Yes, I've heard that. I could not care for either of them, despite the fact that despite the fact that Yellowstone at least sounds like it's some sort of like modern day cowboy stuff, and I do like me a cowboy thing. I'm not gonna watch Yellowstone. I don't want to pick up Paramount Plus. And Landman just sounds so fucking stupid that I would just rather not.
But so they're gonna own that as well as HBO Max.
HBO Max. That's what it's
called.
You are correct.
Is it called that though?
That's the one. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Are we sure they went back to the HBO Max name?
I can't remember if it was called. Oh, good point. HBO Max for a while, and then they changed it to something else. And
I have to look it up.
Who cares? Fucking who cares?
Okay. Yes, it is back to being called HBO Max.
Okay.
I think they're gonna. They've said they're gonna try and figure out a way to merge them both. That's insanely difficult. You can't. Like, it's not like a terrestrial TV station where you just go, okay, well, just, here is the actual whatever it is, hard drives these days. I don't know. I was going to say tapes, but they're obviously not tapes anymore. But you can't just hand it over and go, yeah, so just, play the thing. Trying to add these things to a database, there's a lot of work involved, blah, blah, blah. So I expect they're going to continue to have these two separate things for a while, and eventually they'll merge them. And that merging is going to be bad because, and we've seen this with primarily Netflix, although I think even you're starting to see it with Amazon as they've started to expand their kind of library, is that with these streaming services, the bigger their library is, the worse that their service becomes at trying to actually find and surface new things. Current Netflix is awful at making you aware of everything that is available to watch on their service. They do awful jobs at categorizing stuff. Yep. Like, if you just, you go into like, show me comedies. They're just like, here's like weird comedy categories that don't make sense. And also we just try and surface the same top 10 to you. Yeah. And it sucks.
Sorry, I'm laughing because you get a brief pause when you said Netflix is awful at. And I was just like, correct.
Yeah, no, Netflix is awful. But I think you put, all the HBO stuff, all the Paramount stuff under.
Yeah.
They're gonna have, like, it's the problem of back in the day when cable television and you're channel surfing and you went to here in Nova Scotia, Channel 8.
Yep.
And you had the thing, and it was just showing you here's all the programs that are happening, or you go to a TV channel and there'd be commercials and there would be the oh god, I can't recall, not stingers, but they would have those moments before and after a show where it would be like, oh, here's the credits playing, and there'd just be the voice to be like, and up next we've got blah followed by blah. But as well, on Sunday night, the premiere of this thing,
the promos,
terrestrial. The promos, like terrestrial television actually did a decent job of trying to make you aware of everything that was available on that channel, but also channels would have to cross compete. So they would pay to advertise, hey, this station is going to pay its rival so that people know what they have. And the algorithms are not interested in that. They just want to push you towards the top stuff, and it sucks. And I do not like the idea of this massive library under this one streaming service. That is actually a bad thing.
I fully agree. I don't like corporate mergers and all that stuff at all. I was mildly rooting for the Warner Brothers Netflix merger back when that was an idea, just because that way Netflix would have something on there that I might want to watch. I still pay for Netflix. I don't know why I'm still I haven't used it in a long time.
I only pay for it because my parents are under it. So.
Yeah, fair enough.
They do occasionally have something I like, but the thing I would do if my parents weren't on it is I would do the thing you see other people talk about, of like, oh, just sign up for it for like a month when they finally have 2 to 3 things you watch those 2-3 things, and then you cancel it for 4 months.
Bounce, exactly, or for forever, hopefully. But like that's the thing. I it's my least watched streaming service that I currently pay for, and it sucks. And I'm just, I don't know. It's still. It is still bothersome to have everything under one huge library. It's the worst thing is it has the illusions of being very convenient for like, oh, you get these 2 great services under one now. It's gonna be awesome. Kind of like when Disney bought Hulu, that kind of thing. And then Marvel and shit. It's like, oh, great! It's got all these companies into one streaming service. Now there's something awesome on this one I can watch whenever I want to, and then you watch them run the thing that you like into the ground, and
it's the problem of they're not interested in getting you to watch what you want. They're interested in getting you to watch the top 10, and it's not just the like video streamers. You see it with Spotify, right? Mm-hmm. I pretty much only listen to sort of, alternative music, as it would be called, rock, punk, metal, all that. Spotify constantly trying to be like, yo, new BTS album, new Taylor Swift, you should check it out. The new Nicki Minaj. Don't you want to listen to it? It's like, no, Spotify, you know what I like, because actually your recommendations are usually pretty good, other than when you try and insert those random ones. Yeah. But it's because they don't care about me listening to small piddly bands. They want me to be the 11th billion listen to some big top song so that those numbers can be big. And that's the problem, is the idea of, oh, this massive library under one subscription would be great, except these companies don't operate on a model where they want you to be able to access and see everything and enjoy what you like. They just want you to enjoy the new thing, the big thing, so that they can just go, our number says 11 million billion people watched this hours.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sucks.
Spotify's a great example. It's like Yes, they are constantly pushing me. I'm looking at it right now. They're pushing me to listen to like, yeah, a BTS album or something like that.
Uh-huh.
But like,
Yeah.
if I listen to my jump back, look at my jump back in. Okay, it's an industrial. I basically have Nail Bomb on there, and then right next to it is Engine de Poitrine and Cardi and Baby No Money and shit. Like this is my shit. Like yeah. Like you're not getting me with pop, with like high end pop music. I don't
But
care.
they want to be able to say, but look at how many people listen. It's such a big number. And yeah, it sucks.
Just show the numbers of people collectively listening. This is it.
Yeah. So now I did say there'd be one positive thing about this. And that is, I think that this merger will be the death of this company. And that is actually a good thing, because we are reaching a point where, in particular with media companies, but you're seeing it across the board in a variety of industries, where we're at the point of late stage capitalism where this idea of the line must always go up. Quarterly profits must always be higher than the previous quarter over and over and over. That is getting impossible. And when you look at the media landscape, at least in terms of Hollywood, right? How many major media companies are left? So once these two merge, what do you have left? You've got Disney, you've got Sony still kind of there.
Yeah, it is.
Netflix, Amazon and Apple are in there, although they're really just kind of streamers. They really haven't had breakout success in a wider range. But like, there's not many mergers left to happen. And so I think we're at the point where once these companies start to collapse under their own weight and their own inability to generate infinite profits ever increasingly, what is going to emerge out of those embers is going to be a lot of, hopefully, creativity, because it's not like people are going to stop wanting these things. We talked about how this is going to lead to the death of, Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, that they're just going to put out SpongeBob and TMNT and over. But it's not like people's desires for new cartoons and animation just disappears, right? It's not.
No, it's not. It stays around for sure.
It's like, well, hey, if the pizza joint in town closes, people don't stop craving pizza. No. So when a new pizza place opens up, it's going to be popular. And so I think what's going to come out of this is going to be a lot of creativity, but also I think a lot of a more sustainable model. I think when these behemoths collapse, what's going to come out of it are going to be businesses and artists and such that their goals are not going to be to try and say, oh, well, okay, yeah, that thing collapsed, but we could swoop in and we could, take the skeleton framework of it and we could just launch our new thing and it'll be massive. I think instead what you'll see is people going, well, we want to make an animation studio, or we want to make TV show or film or whatever. We want it to be sustainable. We don't want it to have to be, oh, this has to be the biggest thing in the world or it's immediate failure. We want stuff that can just exist at a slightly lower level but go on for years and years and be enjoyed by many people, but maybe not 11 million billion people like these companies need. And I think that's the positive, is that yes, there's going to be a lot of bad stuff that happens, both for us as viewers, but also horrible things for the people in the industry, layoffs, closures, all that stuff.
Definitely going to happen.
But I think on the other side, and how long that takes, I'm not even going to try and predict. That could take decades. But I think on the other side, as a society and as industries, it is going to result in people going, we need a more sustainable model. We need to come out of this and not just return to, merger after merger after merger, leading to these giant companies with a million things under it and just collapses under its own weight inevitably.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the current model of things going forward, like past the point where like past the point where the big companies get so big they collapse in on themselves and they go under and that kind of thing. We're already at this point, I think, with video games, and I think this is a great example because I find that the video game industry is a little bit of a telltale about other industries and how people are kind of viewing.
No, Telltale Games closed.
It's true.
Actually, because of the whole under their own weight of trying to make the biggest games and expand. And
that's exactly why. But I think the video game industry, because like we're at a point where these big like studios are still producing video games, but I don't know anybody who really gives that much of a shit about the next Ubisoft game, the next Activision game, etc., etc., etc. Like these companies, nobody's talking about them in any light besides, yeah, they fucking exist and they're scumbags. We're at a point where, I mean, the talk now is like, hey, indie can do it better. Why are we not just making sure we back these companies that make games that we want to actually play? Even if they're not like technically indie studios, they are smaller than the big ones and they have more hunger. They have more drive. They're making actual art as opposed to Call of Duty map number 288. Like, that's what we're here for. So, like, you know, there's nothing wrong with liking stuff like Call of Duty and that kind of thing, except for the latest one. But, like, you know, we're at a point where we want to, like, people who play video games really want to latch on to something that's good and not something that's popular. But in the things that are good, they become popular because the word gets out, hey, this game came out, and yeah, it's very good. You should play it. Ah, cool. That sounds great. I'll play that. And that's just how it happens. And
yeah, you can't set out to be, you know, Baldur's Gate 3 or Hades or Balatro. You know, those games set out to make good games, and they obviously wanted it to be popular, but their goal was never, we want to be the number one indie game of the year. It was make a good game, and as a result, you get to become the number one indie game of the year.
I mean, Slay the Spire 2 came out a couple weeks ago, and it's blasted everything else that came out of the water that came out that same week. And I mean, it's an early access game where most of the art is missing. So, like, I mean, like, you know,
but people love the gameplay, right?
Yeah, it's a great
they
game.
Focus on a good game, and the results follow. And that's what I think will happen with Warner, right? When it finally dies, there's going to be a lot of creative people who still want to do creative things, and hopefully have the freedom to do so. And hopefully there are means to fund those people and allow that creativity to get out there.
That would be ideal. Looking at like studios like, I don't know, A24 or one of those smaller studios that actually want to do some more. Or I mean, like fucking Markiplier just released Iron Lung like on his own. That blew shit out of the water too. So, you know, maybe there's precedent. I'm not saying post on YouTube. I'm just saying like smaller companies picking up these like former studios and that kind of stuff that could hopefully make something. I don't know. That'd be nice. Nice to have things. Have good things.
Yeah, I just hope it happens sooner rather than later, is all.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, that's all I had to say about that. So why don't you tell people where to find us?
Yeah, go to our Blue Sky, which is at EIFNAR. We're there, and we're telling you how it is. Go to our Spotify, iTunes, follow us, leave a like, subscribe kind of thing. Go to our YouTube and like, subscribe. Do that. That would be ideal. Also tell your friends about us. That's how anything works these days. Honestly, that's really, advertising is garbage. Nobody watches advertisements anyway. So fuck it. Go and tell your friends about our show if you like us. And only then. And if you don't like us, tell them about us anyway, and they can hate watch us. It gets us the view anyway. I appreciate the hate watchers the most, to be honest. They're there for the long haul, and I appreciate it.
You're not wrong.
Picking apart every little tiny thing I say. Oh my god, he was wrong about this one thing. Yeah. You know who you are. I just gotta say I love you. Anyway, you just go to our friends who's DJDane.com. That's the guy that does our music. DJDane.com. Let's do his great tunes. I don't know if you want to make a corporate merger with him, make some sort of horrific fly beast, like the movie The Fly. That'd be great.
Tristan, that's not. Do you think that's how corporate mergers work?
Is it not? I'm pretty sure that is.
Buddy.
No.
Boy.
If you really think, if you think about it, that is kind of how they work.
It's definitely not, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, it's not in the literal fashion. Metaphorically, though. Man. Anyway, that is it for our show. Tune in next time for another episode of Everything Is Fine Is Ruined. See ya.
See ya.
Say it.